In today's episode, I will be discussing and reacting to the season 2 finale of House of the Dragon, The Queen Who Ever Was. So let's dive into this finale. Do something, man. People are questioning you. Shut up. Shut up. Okay, yep, do that. Sure, guys. Stupid and dumb. Just an idiot. Get your shit together, son. Fuck it. I loved it. Welcome to the dub cast. I will be the first to admit I love some good Game of Thrones politicking. I love some build up, love characters interacting that we don't usually see interact, conversations, important conversations. But man, I feel like there needed to be something that happened in this episode, and a lot of the fans have left disappointed. I know for sure I'm a little disappointed. I was trying to back up the show for a while. Ever since episode 4, obviously you have your big climax of the season there, but since then it's been kind of a slow build. And normally I'd be okay with that if it was like, okay, in 6 months we're getting another season, or in a year even we're getting another season. Like, it'll come right back and we'll be fine. This isn't coming out till 2025, and there's only 2 seasons left. I feel like this was a total waste of a season, especially the back half. It was decent Game of Thrones. It was good conversations and politicking. I even made a TikTok, part of my podcast, going on a rant about how people need to just appreciate the politicking, but we need payoff, bro. And we're not. Now we have to wait 2 years for for season 2 to go to season 3. What's the plan here, bro? I mean, when you put it out there that you have only 4 seasons, you're only doing 4 seasons, and it's going to be over 8 years. It's like, these episodes need to hit, bro. Like, we need payoff. Now we're into the void into 2 years. I bet when it comes back in 2 years, people are like, I don't know, I'm not gonna bother with that. I don't know, man. I thought it was a good episode. Like, it was solid, pretty average Game of Thrones stuff. But it's like, we needed payoff. There was so much building up during these last 3 episodes. Like, what's Aegon gonna do? What's Aemon gonna do? What's Rhaenyra gonna do? What's gonna be the conclusion with Daemon? Like, nothing. Like, it's just they're all marching to war. And like, maybe I think season 3, episode 1. There's no way that's not gonna be a banger episode. It's probably gonna be one of the best episodes of the show. But like, we could have had some of that in this episode, instead of the elongated Allison and Rhaenyra conversation. Other scenes we followed uh, Lannister to the Triarchy, and that was like 4 or 5 scenes. Like, I know you have a lot of ground to cover, but we need some action. We got to hold the people over, man. We got to be like that. That last episode was awesome. I can't wait to watch the new season that's coming out. And the last scene, I mean, we'll go scene by scene in a bit, but the last scene was awesome. But I feel like you could add another 10 minutes of actual, like, one of the fights taking place. Um, but yeah, so a little bit upset by this finale. Not gonna lie. Thought they left a lot on the table here. Still, we'll be watching when it comes out in 2 years. God knows if I'll even have this podcast by then, in the summer of 2026. But yeah, so let's dive right into this episode. So we started off with the aforementioned Lannister. So he is sent to the Triarchy to break the blockade, and he wavers pretty quickly in a negotiation. He's desperate. They know he's desperate. So they have to give him some terms. They want the stepstones, which I'm sure that'll end well. Um, what else? They'll only do it if the sailor woman agrees. Their captain agrees to go with him, and endorses him. So yeah, we see throughout the episode what that will entail, but pretty bad dealing by the Lannister, master of ships for King's Landing, but he does end up getting his way by the end of it, so good for him. Interesting way to start this finale with like a character we don't give a shit about, Mr. Lannister. Like, of course he sits in a small council, but like, we don't care about this guy. I mean, the Lannisters are cool with their lions and money and shit, but it's like, this guy hasn't really been anything. So what? This is the opening to our last episode, right? Right then, I should have known that this was going to be a little bit of a letdown. So, flash to Aemon, and this is a very fast. So they don't show the scene of Aemon just destroying a village with a dragon. Like, at least show us that. It's like 10 seconds, and we're like, did he just blow up that village? Did he just kill thousands of people? Nope, just a little fast forward. So it turns out he did blow up a village with his dragon in anger, due to being buffed by the dragons in the last episode. That's where we ended the last episode. So Aemon's a little pissy boy. He's all mad. So back in the actual King's Landing in the castle, Aegon and Larys are scheming. Larry wants to get him out of King's Landing, and he does a good job here, convincing Aegon to get out. It was obvious that Larry's feels bad for Aegon due to his condition, because he's also a um, little bit of a cripple with the cane. I know he has some sort of ailment. I don't want to be rude, but whatever you call it properly, I want to say that I'm just spewing. So Aegon also will have one of those as well, so they can relate over that. Aegon at first doesn't want to go. He's all depressed, like, my life is meaningless. But Larry's is like, how about we let them all do the fighting, and then we come back when everyone's down. Good scheming by Larry's. He's slotted in for the slot of the hand, which I thought he was going to already have by the end of the season, but I guess not. But if Aegon comes back to rule, he's got that shit locked up for sure. So good job, Larry's. Good decision by Aegon, probably, so I'm here for it. Interesting duo, and we'll talk about them in a bit. So back to the Dragon Stone. Sorry, I'm all fucked up here. We have seems to be a Dragon Riders dinner, where Ulf is just being a fucking pompous asshole. He's going on a power trip already. Well, no, actually, Jacaerys goes on a power trip. He's like, you can't do that here at the table, blah 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 blah. But Ulf's just being like rude, and he's a common folk. Like, he doesn't know the etiquette. Adam, and Hugh are more respectful and kind of like understand the opportunity they're given, while Ulf just kind of runs with it. So Ulf runs into that power dynamic with Jacaerys, who's already pissed off that they let the small folk ride the dragon. Not good. So Corlys in the shipyard, he decides to name his ship the Queen Who It Never Was for Rhaenys respect. And then he has a convo with Rhaenyra about the Dragon Riders. They are counting the Dragon Riders. Obviously, the Blacks have a big advantage, but they bring up, will Helena ride? And Rhaenyra's like, no way, she'll never ride. That's not her thing. They also say Daeron is untested, grew up in Old Town, but we do see him flying his dragon at the end. So, obviously, leading up to a little bit of dragon fight there that we'll see play out in 2 years. Back in Harrenhal, Sir Broom, who was sent by Rhaenyra to check on Daemon, pulls him aside and is like, hey, what we need in this moment is a king. And our boy, the Lord of Harrenhal, overhears this. Not the Lord, but the guy, Simon. No, not Simon. Something. I don't remember his name. The old guy hears it, but Daemon's like, he gives a nod. And at this point, I was like, wow, maybe Daemon does want to really be king. Obviously, this is what this has been leading up to the whole season, but nope. But we'll save that for when that scene happens. But interesting that Sir Broom, one of Rhaenyra's most trusted people, is sent over and just basically ruins their, like, goes against her cause. She asked Daemon to step in, so not happening. But interesting. So back at King's Landing, Aemond wants to ask Helena to ride into battle with her dragon. And Alicent's also in the room, and Aemond starts like grabbing her, like, you gotta come with me, we gotta go. And Aemond's clearly irrational, just all pissed off about what happened last episode. He wants to just pull dragons and throw dragons at dragons, and that's not gonna work. Alicent, obviously very protective of Helena, stands up for her and says she's not doing anything you want her to do if she doesn't want to do it. So Alicent, I'm liking more and more, especially I thought this was a good season for Alicent. She's kind of realizing what she's done and trying to make up for it where she can. So respected this out of Alicent, and I'm glad that Helena doesn't have to ride her dragon. Really good Helena episode, but we'll talk about that in a second as well. So back on the battlefield, Sir Gawain finds out about Cole sleeping with Alicent, and Cole is like sniffing at the tissue that she gave him. Odd, but I get it. He presses him, and everyone's around's like, whoa, what's happening here? But Cole just gives a like soliloquy about how basically everything they do is insignificant now, because when the dragons fly above, they're like little animals and they mean nothing to the grand scheme of things. When it's just dragons, we'll fight this war. So I'm sure that'll play a big part in season 3 and 4. The dragons obviously are more important than the thousands of men, and way more significant. So good speech by Cole. Gawain's like, you know what, you're right. Takes a seat next to him. Doesn't put his sword against his neck anymore. And then back to our Triarchy mission with Tyland. They keep calling him Tyrod. Respect. Tyrod Taylor, shout out. Now he has to wrestle this woman. and beat her in this in order to gain her respect so that she comes with him. Um, all muddy, weird mud. I guess they fight in the mud. He wins, or he gets her respect eventually, and they will sail with him. And then she says to him, "I want you to fuck my wives." So, that Pentos lifestyle, got multiple wives. Maybe Thailand did it. We don't know. They don't show us. So, Thailand had the opportunity to fuck multiple wives of this girl. So, good job, Thailand. Back to Dragonstone, Ulf being disrespectful at the table again. And the first time I was like, all right, bro, chill out a bit. Like, learn your place. But he's going way too far this time. Even Bela's upset with him. Rhaenyra's like, what are you doing, bro? Like, we need some order in this table. I don't think Ulf is long for Team Black. Seems like he doesn't really get the vibe of what's going on. And now back for my favorite scene of the episode, Daemon at Harrenhal. He can't sleep, and he's with the woman, Alyn Rivers, I believe her name is. And she takes him to the Godswood tree and shows him a vision. So lots of death, stepping over dead dragons. Daemon ends up drowning, it looks like. And who do we see but Daenerys? Bring in Daenerys, yay. Her with her dragon eggs. And then he sees Rhaenyra as queen. Helena narrating and says, like, you're part of the story, but that you need to just know your part. I'm not sure if she was actually talking to him. Maybe you guys can let me know if people actually watch this and comment, which I don't know if that'll happen. I don't know if she was communicating with him in his head or that was just her saying it, and then he somehow saw that. But so a lot of stuff to comprehend here. I'm probably going to be watching that vision scene. I already watched it again today. Probably going to be watching that before season 3 comes out because that was like the only really thing that I liked out of this episode. No, I liked other stuff, but that was my favorite scene for sure. So I think Helena is a warg or whatever. When Aemon talks to her about flying again, she says, "You're gonna die," and you disappear into the Godswood's Eye and disappear for life. She actually also saw Aemon burn Aegon in the sky, so she knows everything that happened, and Aegon will be king again, she says. So I believe her. Aegon will come back to rule. So I guess we'll see what that looks like when that happens. Helena, Bran Stark arc. I'm here for it. And I don't know when she figured out that she was a warg or if I don't know. But that's cool that she can see the future and stuff. And she's basically Bran. So here for that because Helena's cool. Rhaenyra finally quits the bullshit and makes a visit to Harrenhal. Daemon says winter is coming. Winter is coming. Respect for winter is coming. A favorite scene, our favorite line, one of my favorite lines from the original show. And he's now like Jon Snow. He's like, none of this shit really matters. There's gonna be White Walkers, and we're all gonna die probably. And he's like, but I know that we must somehow withstand it. And I saw you as queen, so that's how we're gonna do it. And he finally kneels for Rhaenyra, and so does everyone in the room. Huge hall, all waiting to see what he will do. So Rhaenyra now has Harrenhal secured. And Daemon gets a hype war chant going. Awesome chanting and awesome music in this episode, I will say that. That's something I really liked about this episode as well. So, Corlys is talking to Alyn at back at the shipyard, and Alyn finally says, enough with the bullshit. You waited till all your kids died, till Laenor died, till the girl who's married Daemon died, and then you want to talk to me and Adam, like, this is bullshit, bro, and I respect the fuck out of him. Because Corlys is like trying to entrust him with all this stuff now and treating him like he's his son when he had to scrap and ask for donations next to the food market. He says, like, damn, bro, respect the grind. Alyn doesn't really want anything to do with Corlys, and I respect that. So interested to see where Alyn and Corlys' relationship goes. Looks like they're gonna float off to battle together. So interested to see where that one ends up. And then our final actual scene of the fuck, I'm talking too fast. Our final scene of the season, real scene, is Alicent visiting Rhaenyra. She gets her back for when Rhaenyra visited her. I was pretty surprised that this happened. Didn't really see the lead up to this. I guess she just walked right in, her Kingsguard left her sword at the castle. She was able to just get in. Rhaenyra in this interaction is pretty snippy with her. Alicent's trying to find common ground. She just wants Rhaenyra to walk into King's Landing, take it over, and then Helena will be the emergency power while Aemon's out on Vhagar somewhere, and Helena will just let Rhaenyra take over, and Rhaenyra says, that's not going to work. We have to either kill Aegon or I can't do it. and Alicent must choose a son for a son or to keep things the same as they were. Obviously, she ends up choosing a son for a son, so we'll see if Rhaenyra believes this. We'll see if Rhaenyra actually goes through with it. We'll see if Alicent's part goes through with it. Well, we know for sure Aegon's not going to be there, so already this plan's screwed up, but obviously nothing can go perfect. It's House of the Dragon, it's Game of Thrones. So that's where we leave off in the talking scenes with season 2. Music has been awesome again. I loved this war preparation scene. Got me hyped for season 3. That's gonna be probably the last thing I watch before I watch season 3 again. Like, that last couple minutes was awesome, but it was all lead up and nothing, man. You know, we needed actual action and shit, but regardless, I went on that rant already, so I won't go over it again. But some interesting stuff here. We see Daeron with his dragon. We see Daemon getting ready. We see Aemon getting ready. We see Aegon and Larys are out of there, so we'll see where they end up. Most interesting to me, though, was Otto in a box. It seemed like to be in some sort of cell. Free my boy Otto, man. What the fuck he do? And he's got to get back there to help Team Green, bro, because they're going out of control. They need a logical voice out there, so free Otto. Hope Otto is good and doesn't die somehow. Low-key, this season made me miss Otto a lot because he's actually good at Game of Thrones, while like all the people on Team Green, besides like maybe Larry's, are horrible at it. So free Otto, man. We need him back. And yeah. So as always, I'll give my favorite and least favorite characters of the episode. Favorite, gotta go to Rhaenyra. I don't know. There wasn't really like talking about it. This is my least longest video recapping and reacting. Like, nothing happened this episode really, so I'll give it to Rhaenyra. She got her queen shit. She got her confidence back from Daemon. She kept it a buck with Alicent, like no bullshit, and got ready for the war. So we ready, Team Black, Alicent. I mean, Rhaenyra, we ride by default. I fuck with you. Let's get this money. Least favorite goes to Aemon. Anger issues, destroying whole town for having getting warned by dragons. Trying to force Helena to ride, leave my girl alone, and everyone abandoning him for a reason. You're a dickhead, bro, and you gotta chill out. Well, you're gonna die anyway, as Helena predicted, but yeah, hope that comes soon. So that's a wrap on season 2 of House of the Dragon. Thank you guys if you watched any of these videos in the series. Sorry this one was so short, but I had nothing to go off, man. Like, we needed some action, we needed some cool scenes. It was, I mean, a lot of setup again. So hoping that season 3 brings more action. I feel like this was a world building season, ready for season 3 now, which will happen in 2 years. So who knows? I may be dead. I may not have a podcast anymore, but it was fun for this journey in season 2. So as always, keeping the content coming. I'm doing a lot better recording things ahead of time, so I can tell you the schedule. Wednesday we will have Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels movie review, and then Friday or Saturday will be Succession, last 5 episodes of season 2, grinding season 3 now. So looking to finish Succession soon, looking to grind movies. NFL season's almost upon us, got to figure out something about that, and I may have a trick up my sleeve for the 50th episode, but we'll see about that. So as always, appreciate you. Leave a like, leave a dislike, leave a comment, subscribe. Any interaction is good interaction. What do you guys think of this episode? Am I totally wrong? Am I off base? I know there's a lot of split opinions about this episode in particular and the direction of the series, so sound off in the comments. Let me know what you guys thought. As always, be easy.